When you have kids, they're putting their hands everywhere. They're digging in the dirt, putting fingers in their nose, and even hands down their pants. Well, what's a parent to do? To what's up, ladies? I'm Madge the Vag, and here are 4 tips on dealing with the touchy subject of kids and masturbation. How old do you think kids are when they start to masturbate?
Like as soon as the diaper's off?
Experienced mom.
At age 2, they start to, touch down there.
I think it starts in the womb.
It starts. Wow, that's early. Thank you for coming in. This is an emergency. This is super uncomfortable. My kid is diddling her doodle. Is that normal?
Yes, absolutely.
Do we have to talk about it? Can I pretend it's not happening?
It's always a good idea if they're exploring their bodies to tell them when it's okay, when it's appropriate to do it, and that it's a natural part of being a human. But it's just making sure we don't make them feel ashamed about it.
So in other words, you don't have to sit down and say, well, this is why you're doing this and that's what it is. You can just let them explore without calling them out in a weird way.
Right, because it feels good. So they're exploring something that feels good, and we're putting the emotion into it.
Okay. Do you have kids?
I have 2.
All right. What would you do if you walked in on one of them going to town?
I would close the door and excuse myself.
Sometimes you don't want too much conversation, but I think I would just
Slowly retreat. Would you tell them to stop?
Probably because they would have to wash their hands. They definitely would not have been hand washed ready, for sure.
What age does this start?
Oh, you'd be surprised. I've had so many calls from daycares where the kid's 18 months old, they're rolling up their sleeping mat and they're masturbating.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So what age is too young? Is there an age that's too young?
No, it's an exploration of their body. I think we make it uncomfortable and a little shameful. Little boys, they'll be 9 months old. The diaper comes off, hand down. It's their best friend for life.
Oh my goodness. That explains my hubby always with his hand in his pants during the movies. No, don't touch. Do not touch. Do I tell them to stop?
Don't tell them to stop unless it's in an inappropriate location.
Okay.
Privacy, your bedroom, this is you understanding your body, but you don't want them to be kind of sitting in the middle of a store or a family dinner and, touching their own bodies in that way.
What about on the couch watching the television? Do I say anything or do I let them figure it out?
Just let them figure it out. You don't need to call something natural to their attention. We're here to shape our children with manners and being a good citizen and maybe not, masturbating in public, right? So you just tell them it's appropriate if they're not doing it in an appropriate environment.
What happens when they get older? Do I tell them to get out of the shower when it's been 20 minutes or should I just let them go for 3 hours?
Well, I think you're not going to have any hot water left, so you have to set up your family rules, but you don't want to call them out on it and make them feel embarrassed. But there has to be some guidelines.
Okay, so I'd say let's give it 30 minutes and I start knocking on the door and say, oh, you gotta do your homework or something like that.
That seems fair.
Should I use this as an opportunity to talk about sex? Make it a bigger conversation?
Yeah, but it depends on the age, because masturbation usually starts, they can be toddlers. They're certainly not going to understand it. They just think it's their new friend. If they're a boy and a girl is wondering, hey, this feels good, let me do this. But if they're older children, it might be a good segue into talking about what these body parts are used for.
Masturbation is normal.
She said it. She's a mom. Masturbation is normal.
Masturbation is normal.
Like Henry Hudson and Ferdinand Magellan, it's perfectly natural for our kids to explore uncharted territory, as long as they keep it private and abide by the rules. And you can ignore it. Phew, that was uncomfortable. I'm Madge the Vag, and if you have any questions or comments, put them in my box. My inbox, that is.